Decolonization is a journey of unlearning, peeling back centuries of imposed stories to recover truths that were suppressed. To deconstruct the European narrative is to question who wrote our history and why, which voices were elevated and which were silenced. Long before Canada existed, this land was known as Turtle Island, a living creation story woven into every river, tree, and mountain. For millennia, the Nishnaabeg, Haudenosaunee, Cree, and Algonquin people shaped these lands. Their stories, laws, and seasonal movements connected each region. These were vibrant, complex societies with deep spiritual connections to the land. The Anishinaabe and Algonquin tell of Turtle Island, the earth formed on the back of a turtle after a great flood. The Haudenosaunee shares Sky Woman's descent, bringing life to a watery world and founding the Great Law of Peace, a political system that inspired modern democracy. The Cree teach through Wissahickijac's animal stories, emphasizing balance and respect. European settlers dismissed these sacred teachings as mere myths or children's stories, stripping them of meaning. Indigenous peoples were portrayed as curiosities or obstacles to progress their access to the land, and misunderstood as primitive or savage. Where indigenous peoples saw kinship and stewardship, Europeans imposed ownership and exploitation. This false narrative justified centuries of displacement, violence, and cultural erasure. Where indigenous peoples saw kinship and stewardship, Europeans imposed ownership and exploitation. This false narrative justified centuries of displacement, violence, and cultural erasure. Today, Indigenous communities in Ontario reclaim their stories and languages, from Nishnaabeg authors like Leanne Beta Samoset Simpson to land-based education programs. Storytelling is alive and rooted in survival and sovereignty. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action demand that Indigenous perspectives be central in education. Storytelling is not an add-on, it's fundamental to understanding history and justice. We acknowledge this land as the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Cree, and Algonquin peoples. We thank the knowledge keepers who guide us in reclaiming these stories.